Arnav, welcome to our employability podcast. This is another episode with you where we would like to know about your journey into Trilegal. Before wasting any time further, it's up to you and please start with your introduction now.
Thanks a lot, Rajat, for having me on this podcast. I am Arnav. I just started off with my professional journey at Trilegal. I am an alumnus of UPS School of Law, and my 5 years at School of Law has been amazing. So, yeah, I guess that's basically about me. I'm into corporate law, like to be specific, capital markets, and yeah, that's all about me.
So, Arnav, you just mentioned about UPES. So, can I ask you what were the early days like? And were you always aiming big for names like Trilegal, or in the way towards completing your law degree, you just figured out that you want to go into Trilegal? So, you can talk about your early days.
If I go back to my first year, trilegal or law firms were never in my mind. Like I initially aimed for UPSC. Then
Okay.
gradually, I met someone, not met, I got in touch with someone who was an ICLS officer, like Indian Corporate Law Service officer, which is recruited through UPSC.
Yes.
Then she advised me, through my law college, I should try to explore what all opportunities your college offer, what all opportunities, like suppose in law firms, in courts, litigation practice, in in-house. So
Right.
she advised me to explore all the options before narrowing down that I want to go for UPSC. And that resonated with me. Like I gave it a thought, and I was like, yeah, that's like very sensible thing to do. So then I changed my course. I for 3 4 months and prepared for UPSC, like going through books
Okay.
like Lakshmikant, Ramesh Singh, and all. Then I changed my trajectory. Then second semester onwards, no, this was in the second semester. Second year onwards, I started my CS course. It's like company secretary course. From there, I got interested in corporate law, really like good time, and then all my journey throughout. So that was my early days basically.
Right. So I can get an insight that, and most of us, it's not that whatever is our first aim, that is the best. In the journey, you will get a lot of mentors who will give you some really good advice, and you can definitely follow as the way Arnab has done. So, Arnab, once you had made up your mind that, yes, I'm going into law firm, I'm going to practice corporate law, then there may be a shift in your routine, your mindset, the way you spend your day. So once it was in your sight that you need to practice corporate law, then how did it affect your mindset, your routines, the way you looked at your internships? If you can just go through that.
Like the internship part came a bit later because I was from the COVID batch. So initial 2 years, COVID was on and off, coming and going. So I quite didn't get a chance to intern. But during that time, I had two dilemmas in mind, like whether and how to complete my CS degree, because CS degree has a component of articleship. You have a
Yes,
24 months of period where you have to go and article with a firm or a company. So I
correct.
thought, like, if I'm in college full time, then how am I supposed to do that? So that was one thing. And then the UPSC thing, UPSC bug wasn't still out of me by then. So it was a confusion kind of a period. But back of the mind, I knew that something I wanted to, like, I have a thing for the corporate world. So, and the back then I wasn't decided whether I want to go
Hmm.
for law firm or in-house or
Right.
litigation. I wasn't decided because in everywhere there is corporate. You can go for commercial litigation before the NCLT, in-house also, and law firm also. So I wasn't decided back then, but then gradually things became clear. Like in my third year, when I got a few internship opportunities, and none of my internships are like through any reference or something. One, two internships I got from my college placement cell. Rest all internship I got either by cold mailing or by getting in touch with the judges of the moot court competition that I went to. So in this way, I figure out things because I'm a first generation lawyer. So I have like zero connection in this field.
I'm really happy you mentioned this because I find this as a notion that most of the internship are just sake of your personal connection, personal networks, but it is not true. And one of the example I have in front of me. And anyone who is viewing this, it is a strong message that you have to be very strategic while you are applying for your internship. The way you network with the judges of the moot court competition. I know in the cold emailing also you must have written emails to maybe hundreds and hundreds of at times you must have felt that it is not working out, but it takes some time, have some patience, it works out. You mentioned that you are a first generation lawyer. On top of it, I can also say that, not coming from NLU, you must have felt that probably being in an institution like NLU would have some added advantage. Did you ever feel that it was a challenge being a non NLU and getting into the firms like Trilegal, or had UPS become a background asset for you to entering this place?
Like, yeah, there are quite a few instances where I felt that the people, like my colleagues from NLUs as an intern, they are getting a slight much importance than me. Like, there are a few instances, I won't deny that. But in general, it's all in our mind, like how we look ourselves. So I guess if you look ourselves that you are no lesser than an NLU guy, then I guess it's fine. It's all fine. If I consider like regarding the moot court opportunity now, this my present job, this is a resultant of moot court only because I went for that GNLU investment and securities law moot in Ahmedabad. So there I was the quarterfinalist. So one of the judges of the quarterfinalist round, she is my current partner.
Right.
So that's how like I cold mailed her for a year, not once or twice. Like every a couple of weeks, I used to mail her. I cold mail. I kept on following, and then finally, in the during the end of my fourth year, I got an internship at Trilegal. So this was my first internship, and it was purely through cold mailing and the mood background and the cold mailing.
And
Then I
a
got
lot
my
of
first.
persistence, a lot of
Correct.
persistence.
A year, like a year, I followed up for an entire year. Then I got this is second, yeah. So after that, I got my call back because like after that, I was decided ki, like I wanted to pursue my career in the field of capital markets only because I liked it and my CS background. So everything got connected. So my CS background, I studied securities law, capital markets. I cleared my module 2 of CS executive. So everything got connected and I performed well in my internship. Then I got a call back, which eventually led to a PPO.
That's quite impressive. Uh, Arnav, we have heard from you about the brighter side of your story, that how things worked out. I know there was a lot of persistence in that. 1 year following up for such a long period is itself is not easy. So would you like to share those instances when you, if you were in self-doubt, or when you feel that uh, probably there is a lot of ambiguity in respect to my career? Can you share those things which did not turn out in your favor? Or maybe you must have done multiple internships, any internship which went bad, why it went bad, if you can just share with us.
Like none of my internship per se did not went bad, but yeah, there were always setbacks. Like on the personal front also, on the professional front also, there were setbacks. Like for example, pre-university, like there was setback. I initially aimed for NEET, not for law. Like I thought I would go become a doctor. But then I, by some margin of ranks, I couldn't get a government medical college, and I wasn't well enough so that my father can send me to a private medical college because it's like includes the
Yes, yes.
fees, right? So that was a setback, and I guess that setback set me up for the law thing because that was a setback. I worked hard a lot, and during my NEET preparation phase, I learned how to work hard, and that learning helped me in my law school. In my law school, I was like very focused. I because of that setback. Setbacks are like it's a blessing in disguise. So I guess it's fine.
I personally call the people practicing law or corporate law, to be very specific, doctors of artificial person. I myself is a company secretary and I call that we are the doctors of artificial person. So maybe you started your dream to become a doctor for a natural biological person, but you have ended up becoming a doctor for artificial person. That's again really good. Would you like to share your first week as a full-time employee at Trilegal post your internship converted into PPO? How was the
So
first
I
week? What were the changes you felt?
so I joined in first July. So first 2 days were induction, like getting us to know the various systems and processes at Trilegal, like the various things, like from reimbursement portal, knowledge management portal to everything, how to basically operate various kind of services that Trilegal provide the lawyers. So this was the first 2 days. After that, I got added to the various deals that my team is on. So I got since I interned, I had an advantage compared to others, my colleagues who are A0s. I had certain advantage as in I know how the deal works, the various concepts. So that helped me. So I got the team added me to various deals, and the first week was a bit slow, a bit like they that my team gave me the space to just adjust to the environment
Mm.
because I'm starting my new professional journey, right, from student life to a professional. So they gave me that leeway to adjust to the new environment. So that's and I like formed quite a few connections, parties and all. So it was like provided by the firm only.
So
So
you
that helped
you got
me.
your fair share of fun also with a lot of work.
Correct, correct.
Again, a really good fact that we all can keep in mind that there is going to be a lot of work, but you will get your share of fun also within the journey.
Correct.
Arnav, you converted your internship into a PPO. Am I right?
Correct.
And not every intern gets a PPO. Is this
Yeah,
statement also right? Yes. So what was those differentiating factors? Because when you had joined as an intern, there must be other co-interns also, which you will not find with you now. So what
correct.
do you feel were the differentiating factors which have helped you secure this PPO from an internship?
So, Rajat, I think we had a subject called marketing management and organizational behavior in as part of BBA curriculum in college. So there I learned a few concepts like brand recall and positioning yourself. Just a second. Yeah. So the brand recall thing. So I focused on that. By the end of I guess third year, I was sure that I wanted to go for corporate law. So my LinkedIn post, I used LinkedIn as a medium to position myself
Right.
and create a brand recall value. I used to in a duration of like 1 2 months, I used to make some post and something. And in that way, I think that helped me a lot because my I created a public image of mine, what you call a personal brand. So I worked on that thing. And by the end of fourth year, when I was interning at Trilegal, I was totally sure that I wanted to go into capital markets. Then from that point onward, I started posting about capital markets. Like suppose I am reading something, and in general, I'm a bit curious. So I question everything. So if a question comes to my mind and then I go and search the answer, I'll just note that down, make that a small paragraph, whatever I have searched and what was my question, and then I just put it on LinkedIn. So in this way, I think this is my my theory. I got traction, like the partners of the firms and everyone, they saw me. Like
Hmm.
I got noticed, maybe
Right.
that way. I'm from not non-NLU, right? So I don't have that very strong alumni network who are very well placed. So I use LinkedIn to position myself, and also during my internship, I used to post regularly. So that helped like generate the recall value, brand recall value. Someone like otherwise many interns are coming, right? How would the partner or the team you are interning under, they would remember you.
Yes.
So that's why I use LinkedIn as a medium to reach out to them. See, to tell them basically there is a person called Arnab Goswami. You can give a look
Right.
at his profile. So
But
that's
then
how.
again, it takes a lot of effort to be
Correct.
very conscious about what is relevant, what would be adding some value to the reader in working in this particular domain of capital market.
That's correct.
So,
Like without effort, you can get nothing, right?
so it's not a random LinkedIn post that he's talking about. He have carefully curated the LinkedIn post according to the work he have done, according to the latest trends that are happening in the capital market, and the timing of those posts were also very critical. So it has to be very strategic if you are trying to create this your personal brand, if you are trying to create your digital presence, professional presence, we call it such days. And yes, kudos to you, you were able to use it in your favor. And yes, most of the students will not do this, and
I
visibility
guess
is required.
that was the difference. Yeah.
Yes, and it is a strong saying these days that your visibility again is your responsibility. I may be
Correct.
working very much, but if I'm not doing any efforts to make my work visible, then it's me who is responsible, no one else.
Also, like I would like here quote Abhishek Sinha sir. He once said in a session, I remember, "Jungle mein मोर नाचा किसने देखा." So that I took from that session. So yeah, that he was totally right, because like even if I'm studying a lot, who's noticing me if I don't post something on LinkedIn or like a social platform where professionals are there? Who's going to notice me? So yeah.
At the end, you need to sell yourself as a professional,
Correct.
and
Correct.
then there has to be, and it can have a bias reason as well. If I'm trying to share an idea, you can share some ideation, some concepts that can solve some problem, that can make the processes, existing processes, smoother. At the same time, I am also, maybe my message reaches someone who is in power, who can actually influence it. That's really good. And you can continue, I guess you can continue this activity still, maybe at a lesser frequency, but why not?
Yeah.
Was there any formal interview before handing over the PPO to you, before that
Yeah.
final offer letter, or was it just based upon your performance during the internship months?
So after my callback internship concluded, there were two rounds of interview, like with two partners. So yeah,
Okay.
there was interview, and like the quite rigorous. One of the interviews was okayish, but the other one was quite rigorous. So yeah, there was two
Can you
rounds of
share some
interview.
some of the questions uh, for someone who is in exactly your situation, having an interview for PPO tomorrow? So, what were the type of questions that you have faced? If some of it you
Like
can remember.
it's all the why questions. Why law? Starting from why law? Why capital markets? Why trilegal? So it's all the why questions that someone needs to answer before, like while preparing for an interview. So the why needs to be clear in your mind, because a law firm partner, when he's in the interview, he tries to know the psychology of the person.
Hmm.
So from where you come and will you stick to the firm or not? And like if you don't have that much of interest in a certain particular area, then you won't survive much in a law firm environment. So tries to ensure that. And
Oh,
apart from the technical
hmm.
questions, right? Technical questions are like very basic questions, not like your CV you should be thorough with your CV. Everything, every word written on your CV, you should know the detailed meaning of that. Every word, every course. Even like I participated in quite a few moot court competitions. So before my interview, I went through the propositions and I skimmed through my memorial to get the hang of it. So that if the interviewer suppose asked me like, what was the proposition, what was this moot regarding, and if I'm clueless, that's like gives a very negative impression about yourself. So I revised everything. So CV is first thing, and then the why questions. I guess that's
So
all about the interview.
it's a very good takeaway for me and the viewers as well, I suppose. We are often tied up with what is to be done, how it is to be done. But then the leaders will always start with a why. Someone at a partner level will go a lot into why. At times, they even ask, why you think this law was made? Why do you think this amendment was made? You know
Correct.
the amendment, it's fine, but why? What was the reason? What was the uh, precedent behind setting up a new case?
The
So
rationale
make your
behind
whys
like
clear.
everything. As
And
also one more thing I would
yes,
like to add, because I did this personally. I used to read a business newspaper. Like I am from like I started off like I have a habit of reading newspapers. I started with Bengali newspapers because I'm a Bengali. So when I was a kid in my class sixth, seventh, eighth, I used to like study the Bengali newspaper, the sports paper, sports section and everything. From that, I gradually shifted to Times of India, and then I got to the Economic Times or Business Standard. So reading a newspaper helps matlab, a student a lot. Like he can speak on any topic. You throw to him, he will speak it. So I guess that's a very important thing to have. And it worked, it helped me a lot. That's why from that position I'm saying it.
Because an interview is again an impromptu situation. Everything and anything can be asked from your domain or otherwise also, and having a general perception about things going around you will definitely have an edge. uh, I think someone watching this can actually take notes, keep your whys clear, go through your resume. I say that your resume is your syllabus for the interview.
Correct.
Be thorough with the uh, biggest 20 news headlines or in the country and overseas. For that, you will be have to be very regular in reading the newspaper. Typically the Economic Times, Business Standard can be referred. Just we will wrap. I have two more questions for you. One is, if a junior finds you, you will have a lot of messages on your LinkedIn and other social media platforms that I want to get into Trilegal. I want the PPO. I want the same results as you have. So, what are the top three advices that you will give to a first year student, a second year student? Top three, though you have shared a lot with us.
For a first year or second year student, I would like just advise them. Like my first thing would be focus on your habits today. Like you should work out, play a sport, like socialize with friends and studies. Like you should ensure that what habit are you building up today, because a person's future can be to a certain extent, like to a like 90% extent, can be determined by the habits that the person has today.
So I
So
can
just
put it
focus.
up like, make really good habits because habits die hard.
Correct.
Excellent.
First is
What's the
habits,
second
focus
one?
on your habits. Second is accept like law is such a field, you need to be an all-rounder kind of a guy. Like you should go and play a sport. Playing a sport, like I in my college I learned playing badminton for the very first time and I enjoy it.
Hmm.
So I used
Okay.
to work out. Like it wasn't that consistent, but still I tried. Like whenever the time permitted, whenever after library, I used to go to the gym. So workout is like it's going to help you a lot. First is the habit thing, then the workout thing, and then
So all
you should
over
work on your
personality
soft.
should be good, not
Correct,
just
and the
studies. All
soft
over
skill
you need
part.
to be street smart.
Yeah,
And
and like
third,
do everything that improves your soft skill. Like whenever you enter a room, you should be able to gauge the tension or the how the atmosphere is. Then you should be able to get along with the people you are working with. That's very important. I learned it quite late because I used to think that good work is everything, but no. In an organizational setup or in a job setup, good work is not everything. Your rapport with people is
also
like
matters.
it's very
Yes.
important.
Matters a lot. And we can use a term for it nowadays in corporates. We have started using a term, executive presence. You said that the moment you enter the room, you should be able to gain some attention. What you say should have some weight.
Correct.
And earlier, it was believed that executive presence is required only by the top management, the CEOs, the partners. But it has been an accepted fact now that even if you are starting your journey, you can have your own executive presence from the very beginning of your career. And I don't think you are that late. You said you learned it all quite late. I don't think you are you were actually very sensitive, very receptive to all these new things that you have learned in this journey so far. We wish you really, really best, soaring towards new heights, taking more complex cases, challenging and growing, visiting back your university, inspiring others. Just last thing, there's a quick rapid fire we'll complete in less than 30 seconds. What do you prefer, moods or research? If you have to choose one.
Research.
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 Okay. One subject you thought you will never practice, will never do, but ended up knowing a lot about it.
Insurance law.
Insurance. Biggest myth about tier one firms
That you only get through connections.
that you have already break. Internship movement that you still laugh upon or you cringe about.
I formed a group of 4 people during my trilegal internship, and like we used to 5 p.m. it's snacks time here, right? So we used to just wait for that 5. we used to count down 4:56, 4:57, and then we used to go for snacks. So yeah, I cherish those moments with my
That
co-intern.
I think anyone living away from his home would be able to relate it. We are always looking for food when we are away from home. Great. Just last question. One trilegal value that you feel truly resonates with your personality.
Equality. Trilegal doesn't discriminate between a non-NLU, NLU in terms of either pay or in terms of general atmosphere. So that's one value I'd like Trilegal a lot, because I have heard about other firms. They initially they discriminate, like the people they recruit from non-NLUs, they make them junior associates, or they make them they pay them less for the initial 6 months. Then it gets at par. But Trilegal, I like about Trilegal is the equality.
And that is something I have heard time and again. You mentioned this thing that even the person is competent, is capable, he is being hired as an intern for 6 months,
Correct. Yeah,
even
that
after being
happens.
qualified. Yes, that is the personal choice of whatever firm does it. No comments on that. But I appreciate you have recognized this, and these are some things which keep us connected with the organization with we work for. Thank
Correct.
you, Arnav, for your time. For the viewers, I would like to tell it is a regular working day for him. We requested, and he was quite kind enough to spare good 40 minutes of his morning with us. And again, we wish you best of the luck for the journey you have. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thanks a
Arnav.
lot, Rajat. Thanks for having me.